Continuing in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, Tzitz, Gdלים, idea on the importance of having clean tzitzis and the halachas bechlal of tzitzis and if it rips, and the whole idea of tzitzis bechlal. You have to be very, very careful in Mahadar and the Eibishter's mitzvahs. Gdלים, b'shas ציצית hoya nekev rochik kashir. If b'shas when he put the tzitz in the baguette and it was far away from the right place, it wasn't in the right place when he put the tzitz in the hole. Mi hakatze loy nifselo bekach ki loy pida toira shloiti atitzot hachas hakanov elo b'shas asiyah shenemar v'oso la'am tzitzis akantei b'gdeim v'geimen v'kamak l'chatchila toiv lasis imira siva nekev yichem b'svas atali shloy yiftach mishir kesher agudol. Here the halacha comes in and he tells you the idea of tzitzis. First of all, it has to be that lachatchila, when you made the tzitzis, it's in the right place. It wasn't in the wrong place. So if anything happens after that, that the tzitzis comes a little lower down into the baguette, the Torah is not makpiid. Lachatchila, the tzitzis were made fine. And therefore, we have the two holes, which are in the roichav, in the space of agodol, from each other. And the idea of imra savi vanekev, there's this idea that you sew around the hole that the tzitzis shouldn't move around, it should be in the right place. That's why we make the idea of the imra, a seam, we sew around the holes that it shouldn't move around. And of course, it should be in the shear of agodol, kesher agudol, and it shouldn't come too low down. If it comes too low, mamish down to the baguette, it is a problem. Up until agudol from the bottom. Halacha hey, noyagim, the minig is lasis, the tzitzis chamisha ksharim kfulim, sheyesh b'neim arba chulיות, hainu shemachnes es ha'arba ha'chutin v'toy chanekev, koishron v'shtei akshרים, וkerech v'chut ha'arich hanikar shamish, sheba krichos v'chayzer v'kesher shtei akshרים, v'shu kerech shmeina krichos, kerech shnei akshרים, v'kerech achas esrei kshiros, krichos v'kesher shnei akshרים, v'kerech shlosh esrei krichos, v'kesher shnei akshרים, v'yois ki noye mitzvos hu shetiye kol ha'chulיות שווי, v'arkan l'chein v'chulיות ha'rishonos she'chrichos, mu'atos, Yarchik mizu v'chulיות shniya yarchik on tzatz yiser v'chein v'shlishis v'reviz shir kol eirach ha'tzitzit hainu min ha'kesher rishin ad ktzei ha'chutin tzarich kol ha'bachar shtei eser agudlin lנוי shetiye kol ha'chulיות b'yachad shlish v'ha'chutin tluyin shtei shlish. Okay, the dark take, Shetiya kol chulya, Bereicha v'agudol, Shetiya kol ha'chulyos, Arba Agudlin. V'rayim emna kosav, Shiye bein kesher lekesher, Kemloi Reicha v'agudol, V'ad me akshרים. V'achut matluyim shmeina Agudlin. Imhei naruchin yoiser, Yase achulyo gamkin k'tzas, Aruchos yoiser toiv, the dark take, Shalasis kol, Akshרים, Arba Chutin, מצד זה, אם ארבע חוטין מצד זה, שיהיה כל חלוק, חצי לכאן וחצי לכאן. You find this if you gimel. What did I just say? The halacha hey comes and he tells you like this. There's 5 knots, which betzim is 10 knots. You have 2 knots right here. Now you have something which is called chulיות, which you go around with one of them, which is a shamish. You make sure that usually the shamish is the longest one, in order not to mix up when you make the tzitzis. There's this idea that people make a knot on 4 strings, so they're not going to get mixed up. They know there's 4 and there's 4. Now they take the shamish and they go around. Now there's 3. Way it's set up, you do 3 in one chulya, 3 in one chulya, then 1. So together in the first one you have 7. Okay, so the first set is 2 knots, 7. How is it split up? 3, 3, 1. Then you do 2 knots. While you make the knots, you have in mind and you say with your mouth, l'shem mitzvahs tzitzis. Now the end, the last one over here, we said is 3, 3, 1. It's 7. The next one starts with what? 2. 2. To be marshing the one over here. It's like a sandwich. It's 3, 3, 1. Then it starts with 2, 3, 3. Because the last one finishes with 3, and you make 2 knots. You say the Shem Mitzvah Tzitzis. And I have the source to actually learn this from my father. This whole idea of the tzitzis, and it's always in a pattern of 3. To remember, not to forget when you make the tzitzis. So again, you have 3, 3, 1. Because you finish with 1, you start the next set with 2. Then you do 3, 3, which is 8. Then you do 2 knots. Because you finished over here in the second set with 3. So again, you start with 3. You do 3, 3, 3, 2. A sandwich, you finish with 2. And then then you do again 2 knots. You have to say the Shem Mitzvah Tzitzis all the time. So you have 7, 8, 11. Then this one, the last one, which is the biggest one, because the one before finishes with 2, you start with 1. Then you do 3, 3, 3, 3. 13. And that is the seder of the way you make mechalik the chuliyos. Now, in order for it to be no'ah, if you want it to be nice, muhodar, each one of the chuliyos, even though, let's say, the biggest one, this one has the most chuliyos, and each one goes smaller down. The idea is that each one should be in the shear of a gudol, even though this one is smaller. You should keep a little bit of rebach. You shouldn't make it mamish together. You should pay a little bit of space between them, that there should be gudol, 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 gudol between each one of them. It shouldn't be small, big, big, big. It should be all the same exact shear of a agudol between them. Now, the idea of all the tzittis with the knots and the string itself, there's the main part, which is the strings have more than the actual knots and the chuliyos together. The idea is that there should be, he says that all the chuliyos should be, like we said, each one has a gudel in between. And he brings down from the Rai Mehemde that between each kesher, we said there should be a reichav gudel, that the actual chutim, the shear of these should be shmoina gudlim. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The actual shear of the string should be at least 8 gudlin. And he brings down, he should be medayik, that the akshering and the chutim we mentioned should be 4 gudlim, and the actual chutim should be 8 gudlim at least. 4 on each side for chutim. Yeah, and the whole idea that we mentioned the knot is that it should be chaluk chetzi mikan, that it shouldn't be after each time you make the knot, you just take any random 4 strings, and then you make another 2 knots, then you do the chuliyos, and you don't know which ones are which side, and again you make 4 knots. We're going to see later it could be a problem if one of the strings ripped on one side, or if a different string rips on the other side, if it's kosher or not. If 2 strings ripped on one side, which be'etzim it could be the same string, if you didn't make this knot, if you didn't be mechalik them the right way, you could come into problems of a string in tzitzis because it has to have the normal shear in each string. And the idea of long tzitzis, the Frierdiker Rebbe says it's the idea of blittis, that it shouldn't be sticking out to the ground. People have long tzitzis, but it's tucked in. They don't have to show it, and they don't have to clean the floor with their big tzitzis. A lot of people do have, but the nekudah is that it doesn't have to be shown. It could be inside. So again, the whole idea of this whole thing should be shtei meser agodlin. You don't need to go out of the way. The main part is shmoina over here, and the rest on the akshering. 4 and 8. People that have bigger tzitzis, tava them bracha, but it doesn't have to be blittis. And again, it should be mechulok 4. You have to separate, divide, to make sure you don't mix up between the strings when you make the knots. Imlai pasak es achutim ze mizel shlokem chut echad arich moide gevallen l'arba bekach ich nisem tegen neke bukshar machen kak pasku pasel mishum de ksiv gdelen tase lecha der shinen tase loimen as you perse binish tia tzitsis bishas asia labeg Allah loyi naste bepson machen kak achsharna idee mais is nimmt as ikrai זה פסול, דווקא אם כל אחד אפילו חוליות אחרי, וקשר, אפילו קשר אחרי חוליות, במקום מלכתחילה תוי, בדיוק ראש החוטין, קודם שיהיה אחרי, הציצית במקום. Here the Nakoda is again another example of tasa limit azui. You take one very long string and you fold it, and then you put it, you take this long string and you turn it and you stick it in one hole and you stick it in the other hole and you start making the tzitzis, and then after you decide just to cut in the string and you'll have all the open strings. Again, it is tasa lecha, tasa v'loimen asi. Now the Rebbe says you have to make sure even right away in the beginning you don't do anything, you open up the strings, make sure there's no idea of tasa lecha, tasa v'loimen asi already from the beginning. And therefore, ציצית עשויה כתיקונו על בגד אחר, נקרא בגד רצי. Also, imagine another idea is that if he wants to take the whole entire corner from this corner once it's already made, if it ripped, it fell, somebody pulled it out, or again somebody stepped on him while he made a kulon 7-7, that's Simchas Torah, and he wants to sew it back into this beged or into another beged. It doesn't make a difference. It's the same idea of tasa lecha, tasa v'loim min asui. It is also, it's possible to do that on tzitzis. Rätsel achzira du bekomme litzwer es hat halis ad anerken. Zel gam kein pass mishum tase v'lo imin asu gein. Im kasher es hat tzit yoy besho shoyis hat halis uptur. Tzit is gegangen choye rubo tafur ach gachi der es hat viris ad shrubo pachis. Gai betzit is im geshar no hat tzit is goy gein gam kein so mishum tase v'lo imin asu. Tzol la hat es hat tzit is an lach so kasher. Same idea is that if he tied the tzitzis, he actually made the tzitzis, but the beged itself wasn't chai with tzitzis, and then he maksher the beged all of a sudden needed tzitzis, and the strings were already on the beged. So same idea of tasa, and he's putting himself into the problem of this tzitzis, which is a problem. He says it is possible. If you want to make tzitzis the right way, you have to make sure the strings are open, you have to make sure the beged is kosher, and then you could put the tzitzis on the beged.